exercise 4-16, and I did 415, which again is quite similar. We're asked to look at a box plot, and don't really have a way, I don't think, of putting that on Excel. There's probably ways, but I haven't figured it out yet. And so look at your book, if you would, and kind of follow along with 15, and you'll note that my answers are going to differ some from the back of the book. And the reason for that is when you're looking at this box plot and you're kind of comparing where the ends of that box plot is to the values on the side, it's just kind of a rough estimate, because it's hard to see exactly. They don't have it labeled every single little step, and so it's hard to see exactly where they might be. So I've answered it like this, however, which is A. It says estimate the median amount spent. That one looks fairly clear. It looks to me like that amount where the black line is represents the median, and that looks like that's right around 350. Then it says estimate the first and third quartiles for the amount spent. So again, I'm just looking at the extremes of the green box that's there. I'm looking at the bottom one and the top one, kind of comparing that to the numbers that are over on the left side there. And I came up with about 200 to 900. And again, that differs from the back of the book. Of course, they know exactly what the numbers are. Okay, and they come up with a little different answer. And I like these numbers because they're easy to work with. So then it says C, estimate the interquartile range for the amount spent. Well, the interquartile range then is just the one minus the other, or 700 points or 700, whatever the value is. Okay. And D then, it says, beyond what point is a value considered an outlier? And there's a little formula there on page 108 that kind of walks us through that. And it really says we take the upper quartile plus 1.5 times the interquartile range, or 700, okay? And that should give us then the upper limits. And so when I do that, this is equal to 900, which is my upper quartile number, okay, plus parentheses 1.5 times my interquartile range. I can use that, or I can type in the number, okay, and I come up with 1950. Okay, on the bottom end then we use the lower number, so 200 minus 1.5 times the interquartile range, and we come up with minus 850. Our scale doesn't go that low, so we just say 0. Okay, so then when I look at the chart and I look at where those values are, it asks, are there any outliers? It appears not. Okay, it appears that, certainly there's none below 0, and it appears, that even on that upper edge, there's probably none outside that 1950 range, and so we say no. And then the last question it asks is this skewed? Okay, and for me, when I look at something, the skewedness, I go to page 110, and it kind of gives you an idea then, and what skewed means, and if it's to the left, if our big arc is to the left, we call that positively skewed. Well, I've got to, for me anyhow, I have to imagine this box plot turning it horizontal instead of vertical. And when I do that and I see that the median then is kind of to the left side of that interquartile range, that's where that hump would be. And so that would be positively skewed. So that would be my answer to that question.